guys? Yeah? Imagine frogs next to one of those. Some of them are, it's so dry around them that there's half or an inch gap around the standpipe, and I've seen frogs along them, but these are the first ones I've seen in a hole. Getting that on, and all of a sudden, hey, what are you doing? Last run here. I think I'm going to take the little one and turn it and drag it out over the hillside over there. Didn't move it last night because I was like, just screw it. I wasn't going to come out here in the dark. I came out and shut the pump off instead. Get it back on morning moves. A whole lot easier. So anyway, yeah, that's why we keep hearing froggies, because they're hiding, and at night it finally cools off enough they'll come out. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, got that one going. Got a little pinky in the sky. And of course, that'd be the sun for the morning. It might come out better later, but I don't know. I mean, there's less visible smoke here. It's still hazy up high, but I'm sure more will come in. But yeah, pink orb. Making for a pretty scene above it.
Was she mean to you?
Well, Becky just came in here.
Was she mean to you?
Ty got here just a few minutes ago.
Did Auntie Titi give you love?
Ty was here long enough to give Blakely a bottle.
We got to feed together.
And Becky was all worried that Blakely wouldn't remember her.
But yet every single time she called Dad would put her on speaker. Blake would be having a hard time and she'd stop crying and laugh.
Hi. What's up, my girls? Are you my girls?
And of course, you know, a week without seeing her, Blakely's obviously a week bigger.
Oh my gosh, you're so big. So big, such a big girl. Does the cow go moo?
So, Grandma, see, look at my muscles now, Grandma.
Wow. Does the cow go moo? The doggy goes woof woof. The kitty goes meow. And Blakely goes, oh ma.
You still got my finger,
Blakely
Blake.
goes, oh ma. Is that what Blakely does?
You still got my finger.
You say, oh ma. Yeah.
Blakely's gonna say Aunt Titi and Grandpa long before she says Oma.
I don't think so.
It was too slow when I was down the road to get the video going, but I just passed one little patch they done, and here's the next one. We're starting to disc across the road from the neighbors on a 100-acre piece. Got a feeling they had other things to do last week, I guess, because they didn't get on it. Of course, I know they had combine issues. They ran both combines in wheat, and they were just running to one in the oats, and they got down by Yamhill, and it quit wanting to move appropriately. So, since they hadn't cleaned the other one up yet, it still had the cut platform on, they ran it down there, and that's the last I heard anyway. But I'm headed to town. I was going to be headed to town for a bearing for a baler, but as it turns, what Ty thought was a bad bearing, it's actually it isn't necessarily a good thing, but bearings have the rubber seal that keeps the grease in, and that particular bearing happens to be a double seal. It's got an outer tin shield to help keep the dust out. Well, I ain't gonna change a perfectly good bearing, it's still fine. It's just that seal is no longer on it. Nice thing when you got something with a double seal. Get a little extra chance. So then that kind of tells me we might have changed that bearing before, because usually OEM is not double sealed. And usually get double sealed stuff from my friend Tom. Which is, I happened to call this morning and say, hey, here's the size I need. Then I called and left a message, and I said, hey, guess what? It's the outer seal that's gone. I'm not going to worry about it. So that's what I know there. But I am still going to town to get oil filters because we have a set for one case, nothing for anything else. I mean, both cases are okay. The 2294, it'll make it till we're done spreading manure. The Massey 3545, it'll make it till we're done spreading manure. And the other one's got probably 100 hours left before it needs to get changed, so we're pretty much good there. I just got to have some filters though, because I still got the 5288 we haven't changed since we in-framed it, and the John Deere we haven't changed since we in-framed it. Both of those really need to get done, so. And pick up another case of grease while I'm in town. Ty says I'll probably better because there won't be much left once it gets done servicing the big baler. I got a crack on that to fill yet. It's one of the uprights. I think it's probably cracked because it's right at the end of the stroke on the plunger. It's at the dead end, but probably gets a little reverberation up through there. So it's too damn warm out now to do that. I'll do that in the morning when it's cooler out, especially when I got to have my leathers on because it's overhead and I got to get cramped in there to do it. So you know where all the cherries are going to go. I'll be getting a shower of cherries. And look, it's much clearer today. Even though today there's actually a few fires around closer. One of them is up here, up that hill. Actually, two different spots from what we've been able to find out. And, you know, God only knows, and this is nice of this guy to pull over. Sorry, I needed my other hand for a minute. I flashed the overheads at him to say thank you. That used to be very common practice at that intersection, and anymore it very rarely happens. So that's either an old timer in a new truck or it's a younger fella that was taught right, one or the other. So anyway, and Yamhill County has fire going that by the time it was to 10 acres, they had already called in air support. So happens to be next to a reservoir. Of course, none of this, absolutely none of this is on the news. Go figure. And all of this started early this morning and still wasn't on the news at noon. Seems to be a lot of that going on where they don't want to tell you about it. And I've had a few people say, hey, you gonna get rain from Hillary yet? Well, their official thing from the news is, yeah, it's going by, it's staying east. My weather app says we got like a 10 to 20% chance of rain starting, I think, tomorrow and going for 3 or 4 days. But I'm not going to hold my breath on any of it. Watching how it's been tracking, hopefully it comes up there into eastern Washington and helps them with a couple of big fires they got around Spokane, and maybe they'll get up into some of it in Idaho, and Montana's got some bigger ones up there that they need some help with. And, well, fingers crossed, Mother Nature helps them out. There ain't much down there. 2 cases of grease, 2 filters for the 5288, 2 filters for the 3545. Why is that all that's there? Well, because they had 1 filter for the cases, no filters for the John Deere. Actually did show one in Fleetguard, but they didn't have any. So I'll probably go to Napa for that, but I'm not going to do it today. Don't know what we're going to get done yet today, but I just don't feel like running around town. So anyway, saw Hillsborough Fire Department's one of their brush rigs cruising around on First Street. It's like, well, you're not doing anything. And side road at the end of this berry field up here that heads west. I don't know whose tender it was, but you know, red tender and a white stripe. Seeing it from a quarter mile away, was headed that way without their lights on. But you know, I know where they came from. Well, what road they come out of? Another road right up here. Easy to tell because they left the telltale water spill. And you can't see it, trees are in the way, but it'll probably smoke on this side of the hill up there. Interesting. That could have been where they were going. I have no idea. But Ty looked. She said she did not see that there was anything around. That, you know, they could have been headed over the hill to go help with one of the fires over there. I don't know. So anyway, not a lot for the day. I mean, did quite a bit, just didn't show you too much. I get back and see if Ty ran out of grease yet. I don't think we made it too bad. We got clear through hay season on about 2.5 cases of grease. That's not too awful bad. I don't think. I mean, we've used to help a lot more. Of course, we used to put up a lot more bales too. And made it through without having to shut anything down in the middle to change oil either. Although the 5288, maybe that should have been done a while ago, but I still didn't have that many hours, or just get working hours. But on a fresh motor, I'm not going to go 2 or 250 like we do on everything else. Next time around. That was close. I saw those in the shadow right when I was shutting the camera off. Mommy and one baby. And as long as they get away from the road, and they'll come back to the road, they're probably going to try to get into that piece. I got back, yelled at Ty. She came out, and those deer were back on the road again, and there was another one following them. And watched them go across the road into the neighbor's field. And she had issues. 2 of these fittings she's wiping off. Started leaking a while back.
But we never got a chance to
because they were loose. And yet that is not OEM. Previous owners found out. If you notice, it says 50 pumps each up there. These down here says 15 each.
I can't read it anymore, but it does say 50.
Yeah, I know what it's supposed to be. That had the distribution block, just like they use back here. Take it back here, like that.
Ah, you're the bitch that's leaking that.
It's kind of leaking. These things, there's a pin on the bottom that pops through.
That was on the side.
Oh, on the side? Okay.
The other one,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah,
It's right there.
The other one's on the bottom.
What that does is shift it from one side to the other as you pump. You put a pump in, the roll goes one way, next pump goes the other way. That works great. But when you have, look out, dog. Sorry, bud. Red's in the way, nothing new. These hoses right here. Try to get you where you can see this. That's a 2-piece bearing setup, shimmed and everything. And those take 50 pumps every time you grease it. And I don't remember now where the other 3 Zerks up there go.
This one?
Yeah, those other 3, the ones you just fixed.
We go center and then up.
Anyway, they let's see, that takes 15 to 50 of these. That's 150 pumps to fill these because there's 3 of them. And only 45 for the other. And going through a distribution block, it doesn't do that. It does it evenly. It doesn't do it proportionately. And she's just adamant that now you're not going to stir her cleavage.
No. No, this one is tight, but it's coming out up there.
Yeah. The bad thing is the way they did this. It's well, I'll show you.
Just don't.
It's the plastic grease lines on this side, and those are female 8th pipe, but you're going through 3/16 frame. So what we might end up doing is just popping them out, take a countersink. We can countersink into that enough to get them to actually tighten. Or take them out, throw tape on them, or take them out,
No,
clean them.
these 2 are perfect. Took them out, cleaned off the
They
things,
are
put
now.
back on. This one, I don't. It might work.
But anyway, we tried putting a straight one on, but those 45s that are in there are just about 3 threads longer than a standard fitting. So in the top ones, they used the elbows because that's what they had, and the fittings on the back side of there are a male pipe rather than female pipe. She got it tight, now she can't get it undone.
No, I never touched that one. That one was tight.
You didn't touch it. I can be corrected. And oh, she said, I know which one it was.
The very top one on the side, yeah, it's not the one that sticks up.
Ah, fitting right there. She can't get a gun on it. The corner of that piece is in the way. So we got to figure out how to get that done. I mean, if the cylinder's shortened up, it'll reach, but not the way it is. You know, some of those, you wonder why they did them the way they did. But she found a crack when she was cleaning stuff up. I'm down here in the dark. She found it on the top side, but oh, come on. See the black line? That's from my Milwaukee pen. There's a weld holding that piece to that piece, and it's the edge of that weld that's cracked clear up to the top. And the only reason I can figure it would crack there is plunger slap, because when it comes back here, I mean, it goes clear to there, but it's hitting, and that's the only thing I can think. And there's nothing you can do about it hitting. It has to have clearance, because otherwise you'll burn bearings out even quicker. And now I'm not going to say anything too soon, but you can read upside down, you know when that was replaced. You know when that was replaced. And that's one thing on these. It's not bad to change those. On the small balers, they're a bitch. On these, you pop the cap, slip the bearing out, slip the new bearing in, put the cap back, put the nut back on, of course. It holds the bearing, and put the cap back on, fill them full of grease. Yeah, that was 721 too. That one, we lost the cap. And that was 721, so we were that one place with the excavators parked there in a really wet end of the one field, the little tiny patch that I got to cross a crappy crossing to get into and make like 2 bales. I was on the last pass in that pass, and I saw this, the roller itself laying on the ground.
Do we have another one of these?
And I guess I got to find something for her. That's fixed. And I was looking through videos, and I'm missing some. Right before the deer crossed the road in front of me, I showed you the neighbor with their big fancy brand new John Deere articulated blowing the disc and making dust, and mentioned that it's the youngest guy in the crew that's running it, and he absolutely hates that tractor.
He's the one that accidentally was causing the fires last year.
He's the one that was flailing last year while he was hitting rocks. Wasn't his fault. Shit happens. But anyway, he absolutely hates that thing because all the computer crap. You know, it's one of those, when you get into it, you have to sign in. And then you have to have God's blessings to do anything, because it's got to connect with Mother Deer before it'll work. Freaking stupid bullshit. Anyway, and I think that end of that clip, I literally shut the camera off and turned it right back on as the deer crossed, because I was shutting it off at the same time that I saw them in the shadows beside me almost. That's when I stopped and let them cross. But anyway, we were in so damn much dirt this year that, get up here so you can actually see it, that collar is the stop for the pickup height. Yeah, I know, always is. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Anyway, need to drop it so it holds it up when we unhook it, and it wouldn't budge. It was packed full of dirt. She gave me the dumb look. I'm guessing the hole isn't lining up, because it's settled. There's 2 ways to do that. Either fire the tractor up and raise it up, or throw a jack under it and pick it up that little bit.
You know what?
I think I'm just going to do the jack. Nope, she's going to wait.
That's a morning job. I got to get underneath the fucker anyway.
She's putting a lot of things off till morning, and that's fine. Kind of like welding on the other side. And of course, you know, I can't get the welder over there, so that means the welder noses up to this hole, and the leads go through there to the other side, and then I go up. So, anywho, I think we're gonna call it a day.
Dad's gotta go check irrigation again.
Oh yeah, I gotta go check irrigation. The little one should have been in by now. but she hasn't checked it. And then she says she doesn't know that the other one's moving.
It didn't look like it went very much.
So, yay. More to do. Oh well, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope y'all had a good Monday. I mean, I guess we had a good Monday. Just couldn't get half the filters I went to town to get. So I guess in the long run, that saved a few bucks, which... God, that's noisy. Which keeps the bookkeeper off my butt a little bit. Bad enough that I want to spend some more serious money than filter money, but that may not happen. So, thanks for watching.